Manchester United crash out of the FA Cup at the hands of Middlesbrough. One of the most difficult games to watch for many Manchester United fans today, and I don't know if we're going to have enough energy for this, but guys, we are entitled. We have to break this one down. Where did it all go wrong? Who's at fault? This is the breakdown, folks, and we are live. Welcome back, folks. This is The Breakdown. Your boy Greg B here hosting today, and we are fresh off of Manchester United's 1-1 result, losing 8-7 on penalties. The unfortunate miss coming at the hands, the feet, rather, of young Anthony Elanga. Unfortunate that it had to be him, but the blame cannot be laid squarely at his feet. It is mind-numbing how things went down, and Chris Wilder, I think he has it out for Manchester United. I don't know, because this is like the third time he has been able to defeat us at Old Trafford. It was with Sheffield the season before, it was with Aston Villa before he got sacked, and now with Middlesbrough in the fourth round of the FA Cup. This is madness. This is madness. But as you can tell, I am not going to be doing this one by myself. I am joined by my good buddy, Mr. CJ. And Mr. Tell It Like It Is, Tonio. Gentlemen, what's going on?
What can we say after that performance? What can we say? What can we really say after that performance study? It was tough to take. And you know what's really the sad part is that after that defeat, I felt absolutely nothing. I felt nothing. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't sad. I wasn't absolutely nothing, because it's almost like it was expected, which is the saddest part of it.
It is a bad sign. When you know. You're getting a bit of an echo here. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to work with this. But like I said, it is a bad sign when Manchester United fans can expect a defeat. CJ, I've seen the look on your face. There's a look of dejection right now.
I kind of want to go sports. Can I go sports?
Go ahead.
You know what's this part of all of this? Elanga going to get abuse online. Everybody is going to look at it like you misses the penalty, you crashes out. But why the hell did it have to go to penalties? We saw the first half. We saw the second half. We know who we had to blame. I'm very sorry. Men don't want to call names, but I want to call names.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to get the opportunity to do that, so do not worry. This show could be a long one for a lot of us tonight. I'm going to just get the comments in. I'm going to start off. Good night, Jeffrey. Jeffrey is saying good night. Let's start with the handball. Yes, let us start with that handball. How many instances have we seen with situations like that? Even if it was accidental or not, the ball is deliberately played onto his hand. You had to control that to keep it in play. And the goal is still given. All of a sudden, the FA changes the rule. Oh, it was accidental and didn't directly lead to a goal. I'm sure. I am certain that had that been a United player that had done that, they would have chalked that off within seconds. Seconds. Oh my goodness.
That was getting called.
The FA has a lot to answer for right now. Whatever. Jeffrey's also saying, because if it were... exactly. Jeffrey's pretty much echoing my sentiments here. Good night to Garrett Telfer. He says, all those missed chances cost us from the first half, even after Sanchez opener. That handball goal should not have stood, but as usual, the new handball rule screws us over. I'm telling you, it's a damning thing. It is a damning thing.
I feel what's crazy about it in the sense of it, when they reviewed it, they reviewed it and said, yeah, let me go ahead. And I like, how you go ahead with that? It led to a goal. It led to an assist,
bro. You want to know what's the entire point of it also? As a Manchester United fan, I don't even want to speak on the goal that Middlesborough had today. You know why? Because the only reason we lost, Middlesbrough didn't beat us today, no. Manchester United beat themselves today. Because that goal was supposed to be lost in about 6 other goals from Manchester United. We would not even be speaking about that today.
Yeah.
If we had done what we were supposed to do. So I don't even want to speak on that because the new rules are what they are. Sometimes they go in your favor, sometimes they don't. I don't even want to speak on it. If the players had done what they were supposed to do, we wouldn't even be having this discussion about that goal. Trust me. It would have been just a little, a little piece at the end. It would not have as much substantiality as it has in this very moment if we had done what we were supposed to do.
100%.
It's a sad thing to see that
these are men who are supposed to be some of the most clinical finishers in football.
You have Cristiano Ronaldo, a man who's considered a goal machine.
It's like
you don't know what to think.
How is he missing these things?
That penalty miss is another thing that
was like.
I had a feeling the minute when Cristiano Ronaldo missed that penalty, I felt like it was going to be a long night. Man, how right I was. I hate the fact that I was right.
But
we can rant all night, but we need to get into the details of what transpired. We're going to have to start with the lineups. For those who saw the goal today, the back line was Dalot, Varane, Maguire, Luke Shaw making a return. The midfield three was Bruno, Pogba making his return as well, and Scott McTominay, and Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and Cristiano Ronaldo up top. No, I'm sure. PJ, I'm going to start with you on this one. I'm sure when you saw that lineup, you said, okay, this side could eat a team alive today.
All right. Yeah, my thing with this, right? Mm-hmm. I find it very wild that people was telling me, nah, the football is played on the field. But what is killing me, that is literally a strong team. The strongest team you could say we've lined up. Let me be real. We've beaten City with less.
That's true.
You come in to tell me, oh, the game gonna be winning the field. No, bro, Ronaldo at the front. Who is Middlesbrough? Ronaldo has seen 5 Champions Leagues. What are you talking about? The gameplay. Bro, this game was supposed to be lost by the minute you saw that 11. That's the crazy part to me. And then, when the game goes on, I see things, I think it to myself, but horse, all these run-ins, Bruno and them men have to run over that midfield. Scott McTominay has to run over that midfield, which they did. But where they finishing though?
It is a sickening feeling to know that is what has transpired today, and these men who are supposed to be clinical finishers can't seem to even get the ball on target.
It's crazy, and what gets me is, you know what killed me this whole game? Mm-hmm. In the preset of it, when Ronaldo say we as a team had to go up, and he had that whole argument with Ralph about why he was taken off and all that. But bro, you making Ralph decisions real nice, I find. Because, brother, man, I'm going to say this again, although he missed the penalty, if you subbed Elanga off, if you put Elanga where Ronaldo was, you could tell me he wasn't finishing that easily. All of Ronaldo's shots have no reason not to go in there. People go say tight angles. Who is Mr. Tight Angles? Ronaldo is Mr. Tight Angles.
This is a man who was constantly trying bicycle kicks throughout this entire game. Tonio, let me get what your take on our starting lineup.
Personally, I think Ralph used this game today to see how this lineup would look, because I think this is what he has in his mind as his general starting lineup for Manchester United, barring Henderson and goal. I think everybody else on the pitch today is probably who he would want in his starting lineup with the 4-3-3. So as Sabe said, you would have watched this team and said to yourself, okay, we are going to do it today. This is a very, very strong team. And as I said, we didn't perform poorly, but as I consistently say, Manchester United is not good enough in clinical moments. We are not good in clinical moments, and it's a fact because we see it time and time again. The way we play is like if we are City who creates 1,000,001 chances, and we created a lot of chances today, and that side did not reproduce what they were supposed to, and because of that, we are sitting here having a discussion about a loss instead of a discussion that should have been about a win.
Terrible, just
Terrible.
Good evening to President Chad Phillip. He said Ronaldo looks like he was 36 and not in a good way. Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's focus on him for a second because
Please, let's do.
what is going wrong? Because this is a guy. You expect 9 out of 10 times to put away his chances, but for some strange reason, for the last 5, 6, 7 games even, nothing. It's damning on him as the world renowned goal scorer that he is. This is a man who has 800 professional career goals. This is the man who is the highest international goal scorer in world football. How are you not taking your chances against Middlesbrough? Can somebody really explain to me what just transpired? I feel like I just woke up out of a bad dream. Tonio, good.
I personally think that Cristiano is one of those. He is great. He is greatness personified. You cannot downplay what he has achieved in his career. Right. What I think the issue is going on with Ronaldo is that I think that he is not accepting the fact that no matter what you do, you can take 1,000,001 ice baths and you can go to the best specialist and you can do all what you want to do. But the fact of the matter is, age creeps up to everybody. And he is refusing. He is refusing to play the role that he should actually be playing at Manchester United, which is. And I would say, I'm not saying that he can't start games or he shouldn't start games, but he should definitely be coming off the bench a lot more rather than starting games to really give the full impact of what he can actually do, because you have to accept the fact that you are getting older. I had no problem with Ralph today. No, the main issue I had with Ralph today is the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo played 120 minutes. Forget the 120 minutes. The fact that he played 90 minutes was just wrong.
Yeah, boy. Just want to give a quick shout out to the United Way on YouTube. He's watching from the UK. Shout out to my boy John. Thank you for tuning in, and we appreciate your contribution. Yeah, it really was a poor game. It really was a poor game today, and I don't think there's much more we can say. I mean, CJ. Yeah. I mean, do you think that Ralph has to now take this next step and recognize that, as much of a big name that Cristiano Ronaldo might be, do you think it's time for him to just say, hey, you know what? You need to kind of just take a back seat because I have younger players, quicker players, hungrier players coming through. And playing you ahead of them may tend to hamper their development.
He has to. Because let's really watch. If you look at Cavani's role in United in the first season, you compare to Ronaldo, you realize that Cavani didn't get in the way of none of our youths. He didn't go for the shot. He actually used his space and his reputation as a threat to open up spaces for them. Ronaldo doesn't do that. He did that in the West Ham game, not going to lie. Did that in the West Ham game. You would think that, hey, let me learn from this now. Let me take a back seat. No. He was in the action like how he wanted to be in the action. And he didn't do it. I'm not saying Ronaldo's finished. I'm not saying it's over. But Ronaldo has to understand his body isn't the same. It's not the same. His situation is not the same.
It's like The Rock used to say in professional wrestling, you need to know your role. You need to know your role from here on in. And like just before you continue, CJ, I'm just kind of going through Twitter feeds here, and let's face it, Ilanga's on the cusp of getting racial abuse, and I have a few people that are saying, hey, you abuse that kid? Nah, unfollow me. I'm done with that. And I echo those sentiments.
I report some profiles if I have time.
I'm gonna take a moment and kind of focus on that too, because Let's remember, Anthony Elanga is 18.
He younger than me, bro.
Exactly. So anybody who wants to abuse an 18-year-old who's still finding his feet in this team, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Not only that, and I go in score. I want to go score shirt on this. Why did we do that to him?
Yeah, that's another
He's
thing.
18. I'm very sorry. I don't care what anybody say. Yes, this is experience. Yes, but why did we put him in a situation where if he fails, it's going to even hurt him, especially in a world where we have social media, especially in a world where there are constant cameras on him. He's going to have to talk to somebody about this, you know.
Yes.
It's not going to be
and it's going to mentally affect him going forward, because it's like, now that you have that miss on your hands in a crucial moment too, people are going to look at you and think, all right, you know what, maybe this kid's not cut out as he's old to be. But if Ralph really puts a hand over his shoulder and lets him know, hey, it happens. Even the greatest of players miss. Case in point.
and on top of that, sorry.
Yeah, good evening to Jason Hossein, who is saying Bukayo Saka all over again. Ooh.
Yep. I know
that Euros finals, England and Italy. That is hard to think about, because these are all young players who miss those penalties, and they are just going to feel that in the back of their minds, and that's going to be something that's going to probably if not dealt with properly, it's probably something that's going to haunt Anthony Elanga for the rest of the season. But hopefully he doesn't allow this to do that, and he keeps his confidence going, because he's done so well to make it this far. Tonio, I want to get into the first half, so I want to ask you, what was your initial thoughts of the performance of the first half?
I thought the first half in particular, I thought it was very good. We created opportunities. We started off with a spark. The link-up play was good. Yet again, the problem was the finishing. At the end of that first half, I thought we should have been up by probably about 4. The game should have been done and dusted in those first 45 minutes, and it definitely was not. But the link-up play was good. The defense was good. Everything was looking good, and we were looking like we were going on to win the game. But I think what happened there was the fact that we wasted so many opportunities, and right after that penalty, I think the longer you allow teams like Middlesborough to stay in a game like this, you give them strength, because Borough has absolutely nothing to lose. Did you see how they were taking those penalties? Like, it's not, if they lost this game, they would have still been able to walk away with their heads held high. We were the team under pressure, and we buckled under that pressure. And just to go back on the Anthony Elanga situation, the senior players should be ashamed of themselves for putting him in that situation. I don't even blame Ralph for allowing him to take a penalty at that particular time, you know. My problem was the fact that he was there, or we went to penalties in the first place. So all those players, the Brunos, the Rashfords, the Cristiano Ronaldos, all those who missed today are the ones who put him in that situation today and should be ashamed of themselves. But I must say, I love the fact that they were comforting him after the game. But the first half, it was good to see. We played well. We would have been proud watching the football that we were seeing, but we did not finish. So it doesn't matter how well you play, goals win games. Simple.
That's the thing that kills me, because in my mind it's like you saw the kind of football we were playing. You saw the passes that were strung together. You saw the kind of ability that we had going with this team. That you saw proper runs, you saw crosses coming in, you saw moments where there were chances. But when we came up to the final third, it just seemed like we were second guessing everything, or we were just wasteful.
Definitely.
I mean, everybody just loves the dwell on this whole thing where it's like Ronaldo trying that bicycle kick early. You know that's not something that's going to come off for you. Why keep doing it? The smarter thing would have probably been to try and bring it down later for somebody. I think Cristiano Ronaldo's focus too much on headlines at times and not actually getting a decent result. And that tends to hamper this team in the worst way possible.
Correct.
You've got players that want to be successful, but it feels like he's telling them they're not going to be successful unless they don't give him the ball to put it away. That doesn't do well for their sentiments.
Yeah. You know what I noticed also, Greg?
Yeah.
I noticed that I want Cristiano Ronaldo to have the same passion when he is scoring goals or when he himself scores. I want him to have the same passion when his teammates score. So because he's almost like well, it wasn't me, small thing, and jog across. I mean, that your body language, your actions tell me everything that I need to know. And it's almost like he's never pleased. It's almost like it should have been me. It should have been me. It should have been me. Come on.
And it's always going to be something that we have to kind of wonder to ourselves, does it really make sense that we have Ronaldo playing a lot of these games? It feels like, I hate to say it, but he's almost handicapping us to an extent.
Thank you.
And I hate to say that about someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, but the performances on the football field don't lie. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I want to say good evening to Zachary De Lima.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the second half now. And I'm thinking, CJ, when you saw how we were playing in that first half, we may have missed these chances, but it means that we have an opportunity to continue with that level of performance and take it to Middlesbrough. And we should probably be able to shut up shop. Why didn't that happen?
I think personally, it's a case of everybody was playing with the food. Maybe really. Them passes, the counter-attack, the way we ran at Middlesbrough, you're thinking to yourself, no way are we supposed to drop this game. Literally look at the connecting plays. Horse, we didn't play from the back properly in 2 seasons. 2 seasons. We finally playing from the back. The defense not looking like it at all. Sancho was having a field day in that wing boy left, and he was in the left. You mean to tell me none of the finisher men not finishing? Because you can't blame Sancho. Sancho buried his chances, and after that, Sancho decided, let me play creator, and he created the hell out of those balls. Created it, and you're coming to tell me Marcus Rashford and Ronaldo, 2 guys who know what pressure is. Let me real, Rashford knows what pressure is. He can't get that blind he used to get when he was 21 or when he was 19. He can't get that blind no more. He knows what he has to do. But
yes,
no.
And it's a sad thing. It's a very sad thing that these guys aren't showing that level of composure. And we're joined by Zachary De Lima. Zachary, what's going on, bro?
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah,
I'm just feeling dead inside, honestly, after that defeat.
A loss can do that to you, can't it? Because it's like you're watching this and you say to yourself, why are these fellas so wasteful? You're thinking to yourself, Middlesbrough shouldn't be as difficult as a game as it was today. And yet, somehow, these guys just screw it up. What was going through your head when you saw the performance today?
Bro, I couldn't believe it. The amount of chances we had, it must have been like 20-something shots.
Yeah, I heard it was like 27 in total.
27 but only 8 on target.
Yeah.
But honestly, with those amount of shots, we should have come out of that 3-0, honestly. I don't even know what to say about that goal from Middlesbrough, though, but still, no matter what, we should have gotten a lot more goals with the amount of chances we created.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that back up because it ties in because we're talking about the second half performance. I mean, I think Carlton echoes our sentiments as well. Woefully United, because that's exactly what it was today. I need to talk about that handball. I seriously need to talk about that handball. Tonio, when you saw that, what was your emotions like when you saw that?
When I saw the goal?
Yeah.
It was expected. That's the thing about it, because we were allowing them back into the game. So the fact that he handled the ball on the way to the goal, it was just like, yeah, this is definitely Manchester United playing somebody else. Because these things only seem to happen when Manchester United is playing. But at the same time, we fell asleep on the play. We fell asleep on that play to even allow that opportunity to even take place. We fell asleep. We allowed them back into the game into the second half, and we paid. As I said, once you allow teams like this, teams that are lower than you in the standings, to get into a game, the longer these games go on, is the more confidence you give to them. And they grew in confidence, and they got it to the 90 minutes, and then they knew to themselves, okay, we have an opportunity here. And we paid. We paid.
You know the extra links too? Men even what's that goal and say, be more clinical. Do something different. Let me lay it off free. Horse, Ronaldo was literally getting the way a certain attacks. I watch myself, dog, just stretch back and let men run. You be a distraction.
Yeah.
Be a distractor. Cavani does it. Cavani been doing it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I mean, it wouldn't kill you to even try the idea of just being a dummy runner, because you know you're going to draw people to you. You're Cristiano freaking Ronaldo. People are always going to try and mark you out of a game to make sure that you don't score.
That was killing me because it's like, wait, use Ronaldo. You don't think you're going to have more attention than Rashford or Elanga? You don't think that Middlesbrough watching you like, fellas, is Ronaldo? You don't think Chris Wilder get the tactic to let Ronaldo get comfortable? Jeez. Some common sense. And you know what beating me up? Men see it happen in West Ham. He get 2 men to follow him. That why Martial get the ball to run forward and give it to Rashford. But he couldn't see that, boy. Nah.
It's just like whenever Cristiano Ronaldo gets in front of the goal, you know he's gonna. He sees his name in the lights, so you know he has to be that guy that really tends to take the main stage and has to be the man that's celebrated because of his goal scoring prowess. It's one of those things. I just really don't. I mean, and even though we are talking about Cristiano Ronaldo's performance, I mean, he's not the only man that has to hold their hand up and say, "Hey, guys, my fault. I screwed up." Bruno Fernandes. That chance. I watched that and I held my head in disbelief. I'm like, Bruno, how? How on earth did you not tuck that in? Zachary, I need you. I want your opinion on that one. When you saw Bruno miss that gilt-edged chance, what was going through your head?
Well, I mean, I expected him to kind of bury that into the goal. I mean, he had different places that he could have placed the ball. I was absolutely shocked, honestly, because you know Bruno has been phenomenal since he's joined United. So I expected more from him in that chance. But I guess you know you don't have much time to think, so you just kind of go at it. So I mean, it could happen one way or the other. He played well, in my opinion, throughout the first half. The second half, he started to wane a little bit, and then in extra time, you know, everybody kind of started to lose it a little bit more. But I mean, man, there were so many chances. I mean, and with Ronaldo especially too, you can't even say he wasn't getting the service from players. You know, like how he normally is working the graveyard shift and not getting any service at all. But I don't know. This had to be Ronaldo's worst game in a United shirt.
Tell me about it. And I'm just scratching my head, just kind of wondering why these things were happening the way they were. Why people were missing the chances they were missing. Things that you would think most strikers would put away in their sleep. Another player that was very, very wasteful today was also Marcus Rashford. There were a couple of chances that if he had just kept them down, those things were nestling in the top corner at least.
Greg, remember when we was talking during the watch along that if Marcus Rashford was more clinical, he was hitting 100 goals.
Yes, I remember
already.
That. Yeah, I think he's currently somewhere around the region of 75, somewhere there. So,
bruh, he had a few shame about being on 75 because today could have literally been 80.
Yeah, boy.
Literally.
I mean, it's like everybody could have gotten in on the act. Everybody. And it's scary to think that we had so many chances and not one of these chances were taken, bar that one chance from Jadon Sancho, who we're not going to go into on too hard because, like I said, he did do his job. He did put away the ball and he was growing into the game. But everybody else just seemed to be, especially the set of Bruno, Ronaldo, Rashford, it's like those three in particular were just... It's heartbreaking to know that these guys are considered so clinical and they can't put it away. Tonio, what stood out for you with those constant misses that you saw there? Because I'm sure there was something that really just kind of must have just boiled your blood when you saw what took place.
Well, what stood out for me is the fact that I keep saying time and time again, it's almost like these guys don't work on finishing drills in training. They don't, because this is not the first time we have seen our forwards do this, waste crucial chances. The difference today was the amount of chances that we received, and we were still wasteful with it. Bruno didn't just have that tap in, and I remember the ball that came over the top for Bruno. And Bruno body one time, he had enough time to take that down and place his ball. And it's like, what are you guys doing? And well, Marcus Rashford, these guys aren't facilitators. Cristiano Ronaldo is not a facilitator. Marcus Rashford is not a facilitator. The only facilitator who was in that front line today was Jadon Sancho. And the only man who I will not criticize today. Bruno had a good game and he still played poorly. If you can even imagine that. He had a good game today and he still played poorly. He still played poorly. But I mean, it's just, when you see those kind of things happening, you have to say to yourself, today has to be one of those days. You know, when you just know that is one of those days. When you see those kind of misses happening and the amount of misses, you just knew it was one of those days. You just knew.
It's just disheartening to look at it because you're watching it and you're saying to yourself, like, what are these guys being so wasteful today? This is supposed to be something that should be a walk in the park.
Exactly.
And we got some new comments here. And Carlton is saying that Ronaldo is in top 3 when it comes to the missed chances and shots off target in the EPL. That in itself is disappointing. And he also says, I felt as long as it went to penalties, we would lose. I mean, I wasn't the only one. Because it was clear that I told myself that once Cristiano Ronaldo and those guys kept missing the way they were missing, and Chris Wilder has a way of setting up against us.
Yep.
He always loves to sit back and absorb the pressure and just wait for them to get a proper opportunity to do something. And that's exactly what he did. This is the 3rd time Chris Wilder has brought us side to Old Trafford and has gotten a result against us. 2021 when we were playing against Sheffield United. Another controversial game that went down there to a foul on Dean Henderson in that game, and they took the lead from that.
Another controversial game that went
also was you had the game against when we played Aston Villa before he got sacked. We managed to lose 1-0 from a Courtney House header off a corner, and now today. So this is the 2nd time he's done something like this.
Also, again, an update from the feed, from pictures. Apparently, what is looking at a picture of Ronaldo is going towards Ilanga and pointing to him like if he's to blame, so Ronaldo is taking the blame. But I find that is not enough, boy. Like, we really set up a young fella to fail, and it is hurt when I see it, because even when I did Coupe de France with Xavi Simons, when they gave Xavi Simons the penalty and he missed, you often have to ask yourself, why are you putting a penalty on a youth? If you know it coming to penalties, don't give these men these chances. And people want to say, oh, well, it's to build character. But we've seen the trend time and time again.
Ain't nothing about character in that, because it's like, you look at that, you putting somebody under immense pressures. Anthony Lang is 18 years old. To put him in a situation like that where he has to take a sudden death penalty. Keywords, sudden death. One miss, and that is the game. And that is exactly what happened.
You have to look at it like, where was men who in the stand saying,
where was Luke Shaw?
Why men like Luke Shaw can't say, hey, nah, he young. Let me do it. Don't do it, boy.
Or even Phil Jones.
You giving an 18-year-old.
Zachary, let's be honest. The last time Phil Jones took a penalty in a shootout for us, yeah, I ain't really trusting Phil that much. I like him, but nah, sorry. I'd have faster let Henderson take the next penalty before I let Phil Jones take it. No offense, but that's just how it is. And honestly, for it to get to that point is disheartening enough, because there was so much we could have done differently. I gotta say, just want to give a shout out to my friend Alexandria De Leon, who was also watching the game at Old Trafford. Not exactly the best way to spend your Friday evening, if we're being honest. And I gotta tell you, I'm absolutely shocked at what I saw today. I don't even know if it makes sense to do any ratings of this game, because
nope, I'm not. The only good thing I would say, Greg, though, and just for a lighter note, the backline was good today. I can't vex with the backline. We can't vex.
Yeah, I mean, you raise a good point there. Especially the way that Varane and Maguire seem to have a decent partnership struck up. I was watching that today, and I know everybody every time you see Harry Maguire in a team sheet, as of late, everybody's just waiting for some disaster to take place.
Yep.
But I have to say, he didn't put a foot wrong.
That
And I
man
think
had
the composure of having a partner like Rafael Varane next to him kind of allows him to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to have somebody who's going to be able to back me up, but I can't afford to make mistakes myself. Otherwise, he's going to tear me a new one.
albeit
With
yes,
that
it was
composure, and then to
Middlesbrough.
see Phil Jones come in and they look even just as equally solid as well too.
Exactly.
If there's one plus we can take from this whole thing, it has to be that. Honestly, Tony, let
That
me get your take on that. What was your thought when you
What was your thought
about
when
the
you
defense today?
about the defense today?
Well, I'm always usually very critical of Harry. I think he is a player that hides in his shadows, but I also give credit where credit is due, and he had a good game today. Varane had a good game today. The entire defense had a good game today. The team did not play badly today. The only problem was the finishing.
The finishing.
We didn't have a poor performance. The performance was not poor. This wasn't one of those games where you will say, yeah, but United look horrible today. We allowed Middlesbrough to run us over. They didn't. We beat ourselves. But the defense was solid today. They looked good today. So we have to, take something tangible from that and see if we can work forward on that. And as you said, Phil Jones came in and it was like a seamless transition. We saw no difference. And that's good to see. So that's one positive from the game today, definitely.
Exactly. What are your thoughts?
Exactly. What are your
I'm
thoughts?
sure you watched that and you were
sure
probably
you
saying in your mind, like, just praying that Phil Jones or even Harry Maguire himself does not make some sort of mistake. What was your take on that?
Well, yeah, as you said, having a partner like Rafael Varane, to me, Varane is like a silent assassin. Like he doesn't put a foot wrong. He always gets like he always reads it correctly, and he always puts the right foot, And I think having a partner of that status kind of puts a lot of pressure, like takes a lot of pressure off of you. And I think when Harry was next to Varane, like he looked solid. I found that the defense seemed very solid. I didn't have any problems. Maybe in terms of creating offensively, the fullbacks, I didn't really find that. I mean, the service was decent, but I didn't find that any of the crosses were absolutely telling into the box. I mean, there was one for Bruno Fernandes where he got a header. I really thought it was a save, honestly. I thought
it was a save.
Yeah, and I don't know how. I think it was a free kick in the end, but I didn't see
it was
any
a goal
foul
kick.
yet.
Yeah, I don't know what was going through that referee's mind.
The keeper didn't touch it. It was going in. It was
Yeah, but apparently it was a free kick for some foul in the box or something that I didn't see. I mean,
we can touch on the refereeing for this whole game as another story. But before we do that, I just want to say good evening to Rashad Razak, who's watching on YouTube as well too.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, bro. And we're just gonna take a quick word from our sponsors here from Fan Club. So. Fan Club, where you can get your football memorabilia needs, and Valentine's is coming. Where's your girlfriend? I'm sorry, that was just me being super serious.
I already know.
Oh my god! Hey! This was not a personal attack.
Hey, bro, if you said
emotional damage.
I ain't trying to cry out here for two things. I mean, a single and out FA Cup.
Tony, can you go give CJ a hug, please?
I single and I out a FA Cup. Oh, you wicked boy.
Yeah,
I on the ropes. I am on the ropes.
Yo, if this is not stuff to make you drink, I don't know what it is. But anyway, Zachary, let me let you finish your point. I apologize for cutting you off earlier.
Yeah. No scene. I was just gonna say that at the start, I saw Scott McTominay kind of dropping back, doing the Matic kind of the number 6 role, dropping back as one of the defenders. But then that only happened for like 10-15 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's just gone. And then I found that the midfield just had like a big space in it through most of the match. I mean, I think if we had a solid CDM there, I think that game was ours for sure, and that would have shored up the midfield, solidified it. But I mean, I think that's where the main issue is, honestly, and I'm seeing it in almost every game. It was nice to see Pogba back, though. I have to say, I like seeing him
Yes,
on the
yes,
ball.
yes, yes. A
Yeah.
welcome return to the side for Paul Pogba. Just like as you mentioned, the whole thing with the lack of a DM there. Another thing to want to crucify the Glazers for. You had a whole window. You had one job. You had one job. Anyway, we could do this all night. Let's focus on Paul Pogba's performance today. Tonio, when you saw him today, what was your take on his performance?
Again, anybody who knows me knows that I am a very big critic of Paul Pogba, and it's not because I dislike him, it's because I love him and the fact that he has tremendous ability that he does not show often enough. But today, I thought he was man of the half for the first 45 minutes, definitely. And he played well going into the second half. What I think happened to him, as I would have expected, is the fact that he has been out of the game for a while. So match fitness definitely would have come into play. So he started to get a bit dusted, a bit tired, and it showed. But overall, he had a great performance today. I thought when he was on the pitch, we were controlling the midfield, we were creating, and I think that when he came off, we felt it. We definitely felt it because it's almost like the play almost slowed down because we didn't really have anybody in the middle who really had that vision to see those passes and control the ball and do the necessary. But he had a good game today, and I definitely cannot fault him for anything. I know people are going to talk about the chance that he had, but I mean, I'm not even going to fault him for that either. You are allowed opportunities like to miss an opportunity like that, but when you're consistently doing it, that's when it becomes a problem, and that's what those other guys did today. So Paul, he had a good performance today. I have to say that he definitely did.
And I think he's probably one of those because you said that he's now returning to the team. I think we can absolve him from any sort of heavy sorts of criticism because I mean, look, it's your first game back. Nobody's gonna really come down hard on you because you're still kind of trying to find your feet back into the team. It would be a waste of time to really criticize you in any form of fashion. So, with that being said, we leave that where it is. But today was one of those games where everything that probably could have gone wrong did go wrong. And I'm just sorry to see that young Anthony Elanga has to be somewhat vilified in this regard because it's like you've done so well to progress the way you have in this team, and people are going to now target you going forward. And then we also have other worries coming up. We have a game on Tuesday, and now when you check it, I believe Jadon Sancho pulled his hamstring during the game. So chances are he's not going to be available for that match. Will that mean the return of Jesse Lingard, if he's even willing to come back and play after what's transpired? It's been a classic case this week of when it rains, it pours.
Man, you just look at that bench too, and it just
yeah, boy.
No, man.
Bench.
It doesn't fill you with any kind of optimism, does it?
No.
Well,
it's like,
I feel what's hurtful too is that when you look at the progress Elanga was having for this past couple of games, that man was on fire, boy. Wasn't making the wrong steps, always making the right steps, becoming a finisher. And what's very
scoring
funny,
a nice goal against Brentford this season too.
All you realize that as this man was having he upward runs, and a certain player I want to call talking about youths need to step up. What you going to tell youths? What you going to tell Elanga? What you going to tell Elanga that is going to make him feel better? Because I saw the picture,
especially after today.
Yeah, I saw the picture of him saying it's my fault. Okay, it's your fault. So are you now going to take a step back and let these young men grow? Because the next approach he needs to do, I personally find you say, let me take a step back and actually help these men. Because let's be very honest, what does Ronaldo have to do? Who does Ronaldo have to prove anything to at this point, fellas? Let's be real. Let's be honest. He's the top scorer in international football. He's won 5 Champions League. He has a Ballon d'Or. Now we have to look at it like this. Now we have to look at it like this. What are you going to let these youth men? You going to tell these youth men now, hey, maybe it's time for me to be a mentor. Because that's what you have to do. We can't keep going this way where we're playing you in games. You're 37, bro. I'm not saying no, but it can't be the same effect. You can't be that same guy. That's okay. It's fine. So now, at this point, And
Good, good, CJ. Finish.
maybe that's why I'm happy Ralph is here, because Ralph is our man. I know he's going to look at them men and say, "All you feel that young man, and all you feel the club, and we feel everybody, because we had our chances." He's seeing that, and he probably telling himself, "They go tell me, oh, I'm supposed to make more subs." He couldn't make no subs. He wasn't making no subs because he told himself these men had to not be that bad. These men, he telling himself these men had to kill West Middlesbrough.
That's our best 11, isn't it?
Yes.
Well,
So
yeah.
now I'm thinking to myself, because I feel like a clown now. Why are you asking this man, demanding this man during the game to make subs? Bro, it's Middlesbrough. What subs he want to make? That is strongest side. Why are you asking him to make subs? So now Ralph going to lay it on men, and he probably going to Ronaldo here now. I don't want to hear nothing about you need more time, man. I had to put the club first. He has to put the club first. We have to put the club first.
And I think it's a situation where Ralph has to make some very serious decisions. And Antonio, I think you would also love the fact that he's like you. He's telling it like it is, and he's not afraid of the backlash that may come with it, whether players like him or not, whether they agree with his decisions or his tactics or not. You just have to deal with what comes your way. If you're Ralph Ranić and you see what transpired today, what do you tell these guys?
They would have to say, when they all get home tonight, take a long look in the mirror and ask yourselves, do you really want to be Manchester United players? Because you're definitely not playing like that. You let down one of the most talented players in our team today. And even Ralph should take a look at himself, because at the end of the day, you allowed Cristiano Ronaldo to play 120 minutes. You allowed him to be on that pitch. You know, when Ilanga was coming on, you know that I knew he was going to take off. He was going to take off Marcus Rashford instead of Cristiano Ronaldo, even though Ronaldo was a player who should have come off. But the fact of the matter is, it is what it is. All what happened today, and the players have to look at themselves. We are tired of the apologies. We are tired of the stories. We are tired of we're going to fight for you. We are tired. We want to see it on the pitch. We are tired of this, because that's all we're getting. This a bunch of lip. But after the game today, they would have drove off. They would have driven off in their Range Rovers and their Benzes, and to go home to their comfortable homes, while the fans are doing what? Suffering. While Ilanga is doing what at this moment? Suffering. So if I were Ralph, you know what would happen on Tuesday? Anthony Ilanga would be starting for me on Tuesday. Starting on Tuesday to show him that we have confidence in you and not to worry about that. And what happened today on Friday was not your fault, because he has been progressing so well, and to be put in a situation like that by these players, senior players, it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Simple as that. It's disgraceful.
Rashad is showing interjection here. It's like Villarreal all over again. He's saying Ralph lost the players already. They all still miss Ole. I mean, I don't know. There could be some truth behind it, or it could be just.
But
I'm scratching my head thinking about it, honestly. Good night, Robert. He's saying good night, guys. You all sound like Ole. Get some dread. I hope you're not talking from experience, sir. I hope you're not talking from experience. But he say have a laugh now as a fan. I mean, it's hard to laugh at that, because you expected this to be a win. You look at Middlesbrough, a championship team. You're expecting an easy win here. But
fighting for the playoffs.
Yep.
And he's also saying Ralph has been deceived by the club, the board, the Glazers.
Well, that's why he didn't.
It's deception all around. I think it's everybody's just playing mind games with everybody. That's just how crazy it is right now.
But that's why he didn't make any subs. The man telling himself why I had to make subs. These men real good, dog. These men play Champions League football. Why I need to make subs? And I think what's the sad part is, if we hear him blow out after this game that Ralph now having a team meeting and looking at certain players and telling them, here we're going on. Your hours cut. And here Ronaldo fall out. Bet your bottom dollar, if anybody try to turn that on Ralph, them crazy. Boy.
Yes, but you know how social media is. There are the Ronaldo fanboys who are going to want to take his side and act like, you know what, we're not playing to his strengths, this, that, and the other. You have to. You also, as a player, have to take an account for yourself and recognize, hey, you know what, I need to tailor my game that brings out the best in these guys.
Because
It can't be all about you anymore. You're 36
exactly.
years old. There's only so much you can honestly do, and you're coming in probably in practically the most energetic, difficult league ever. This is not like 2008, 2009, where everything was a walkthrough for you and you were in the prime of your career. It's different now. You're a different player now, and you have to know where your strengths lie. So, for me, it's going to be a lot of adjustments, a lot of self examination in different regards. But anyway, guys, we're
You
coming
know,
down to the end here. I want to give everybody an opportunity to closing thoughts. Zach, you go first, man.
fellas, I don't know about y'all, but I feel as if we had the players that we ended up loaning out this transfer window for this match, it might have been a different story. But again, I was watching the game with my mom, and I was telling her, mom, once they scored that goal, I was like, to me, this just looks like it's going in the wrong direction for United fans. And I mean, lo and behold, I was correct, and I was extremely disappointed, but I kind of saw it coming. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my
honestly,
thoughts.
when they scored that equalizer, it was like, yeah, this is gonna go south
I
very
I
quickly.
don't know how that's not a handball, because you do that anywhere on the field, anywhere else on the field, that's a handball.
As
To me, it reminded me of Thierry Henry against Ireland. I don't know about y'all.
Ooh,
yeah, boy. But as Tony was saying in the comments, which is that it wouldn't have been a problem if Ronaldo put away all his stuff.
very true,
It wouldn't have.
very true. It all
Like,
boils down to clinical finishing on everyone else's
like,
part.
I personally believe if any player come with any kind of long paragraph who is not Anthony Langa, I just going to say delete this. Delete that. No, you should have left that in the drafts, King, because guess what? If you want to apologize to me, apologize to Langa. He needed. Not in front of social media. Don't post up no
Not,
pictures. Don't talk it. No.
it's not his fault.
Apologize to that man.
Of course, you
Myself.
can't rest all that on Anthony Langer.
No.
That is a solely the forward line and the midfield have to take sole responsibility for that. At least certain members of the midfield. Tonio,
Or-
let me get your closing thoughts on this.
What I would say is at this moment it's tough, and it's definitely tough being a Manchester United fan. I would have liked to think that what happened this week, the team would have come out today to give the fans something to cheer about, something to uplift the fans, and it seems like this team keeps letting us down over and over and over. And it's becoming a worry because it was just a problem on the pitch, but now it's a problem it seems to be off the pitch also. And I think there are a lot of things that need to be worked out within the club that we are not privy to, that we don't hear, that we don't see. And I expect definitely this summer that a lot of things are going to happen, definitely, because it has to. We cannot continue this way. We cannot. I really hope that even though Ronaldo signed a 2-year contract, that it really is one, and he would like to roll on in the summer to wherever else he would like to go, maybe back home or to PSG if they will have him. But definitely something has to change at the club, because I mean, it's becoming, we're living in a time or in a world where, there aren't a lot of things to be thankful or happy for, or things that to uplift you. And I mean, if you can't watch your own football club and feel happy about watching them, there's really, really a big problem happening. So all I can say is that I don't think we're in the worst situation in terms of the players that we have and the team and whatnot, but definitely there are a lot of things that need to be pulled out of that and just discarded, because I mean it is. And as Ralph came, I think we are getting to see how much more things are an issue, because Ralph isn't a PR guy. You ask him a question, he's going to answer you directly, maybe a little too directly. But the fact of the matter is, we are getting an idea of what really happens in our workings. That is of the things that are going on in the club, and definitely there are a lot of things that need to be repaired, a lot of personalities that may need to leave to bring more positivity. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for Manchester United as a club to take all the talented youths that we have out there and bring them back into the team, bleed them into the team. The Hannibals, the men, bring these guys back. The Chongs, bring these guys back, because we have nothing to lose. Let these fellas come and at least fight and be hungry and not be entitled and not be privileged. We need to see something because I'm telling you, after this loss today, I felt absolutely nothing, and that is sad. I didn't feel sad, I didn't feel angry, I felt nothing because you know why? Manchester United keeps doing this to us. And eventually, as a man, if you consistently getting won, if you get come and tell us you won, yeah, the 20th time, you're gonna be like,
all right.
That's the state.
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
We're like, yeah, it's like well, because it's like it's almost expected, and it's sad. It is really sad to see, but I really hope for my club's sake and all the fans that we really get back up there.
It's a funny thing that you mentioned about getting on because Carlton now just for this comment saying I may have to divorce Manchester United the way where divorce was to be scripted.
I'm telling you, it's a fact. Because I mean, abuse comes in many different ways there, and being a Manchester United fan for the past couple of years has been a lot of abuse, my brother.
It's almost like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. I mean, we expected things to be a little rough. We expected things to be bad, but we didn't expect things to start to get like Arsenal bad or Liverpool bad. And now we're sitting here watching these other clubs like it's almost like we're heading into that realm that we used to laugh at these other clubs for. And it's sad. It is sad. It is sad. Really sad to see. But what are we gonna do?
Yeah, the most we can do is probably just swallow our pride at this point because social media is going to be all over this. They have already started. And this is not going to be a good weekend. I think I need a few drinks in my system. I think it's going to take a little while to get this one.
Man United turn you into alcoholic, Greg. Don't allow them. Don't allow them. They've already
caused the hairline to recede. I think they've done enough damage. Hey, you're welcome. Brought some laughter to the channel today.
We need it.
Yo, I'm telling you, this was too much. This was too much. I'm sorry. If you don't laugh, you're gonna cry, folks. Let's be honest. Today was one of those days. If you take this game too seriously, you're going to be an emotional wreck. But now, all we can do now is just lick our wounds, move on, hope for better results Tuesday.
I detaching until Tuesday, boss.
Bro,
I do not get you wrong. I'm going to the beach tomorrow, hopefully, and just gonna scoop some salt water in the system. And Lord knows I need it. But guys, thank you so much for coming on, being a part of this. CJ, Tonio, Zachary, thank you for being a part of this. Shout out to everybody in the comments: Carlton, Gareth, Jeffrey, Rashad, Robert, Davion, Isaac as well too. And my boy John from the UK, just thank you all for being a part of this today. This was a hard one. This was very hard to do today. And I appreciate everybody logging in, sharing their views, venting their frustration in any form of fashion. And we just have to, like I said, lick our wounds and pick ourselves up and go on as we can. Because that's what Manchester United does. When we look like it's going to be a difficult period, we somehow find a way and we truck through it. So I end this with the sentiments of President Chad, who was also in the comments as well today. Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply. Take care, folks.
Hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's grow this community.